Welcome to Season 2, Episode 29 of Sports Banter with your hosts, Mr. Peanuts.
And the polar bear, come on.
Welcoming back a familiar face, once again, the oldest in the room. Wisest? To be determined. Doc Downing with a little thing of Hiskey there.
Right, little Hiskey just to get through the session.
Oh,
And it appears he's dove in quickly. And the newest addition to the dais, the 2022 Sports Banter Fantasy Football Champion and friend of the podcast, Bryson Blake. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the show.
It is a pleasure and my honor to be here, gentlemen. I'm excited.
Oh, this is a big day. It's a big episode because we're doing Super Bowl draft. So who did I think? I need football guys. Bryson, huge football guy. Demons, he's been a football guy since he started out the womb. Polar Bear, virtually the same. So we got a big one tonight, fellas. So how we feeling?
I feel
I'm
pretty
good. I got my cheat sheet.
Never felt better, my friend.
I'm ready to rock. But also, I think it's going to be a very interesting perspective. We got the wisdom and from Mr. Downing here, Doc bringing in perspective, and I wanted to keep it more organic and things that I've been able to appreciate watching Super Bowls, as well as things that I've just been able to respect that maybe I didn't watch eyewitness. So I'm excited to jump into it, guys.
Yeah, Polar Bear, that's a good point. How are you approaching this draft? You going traditional or are you going personal experience? What do you got?
Oh, I'm all over the place. There's one.
Yeah, like
there's one aspect where you guys are just gonna, you see.
You're anticipating ridicule out the gate?
Oh, no, yeah. One of them, I'm definitely gonna get. I'm gonna get some, just what the fuck and why did you choose that kind of scenario.
I love it. I'm excited for that. No, I think there's a lot of ways you can go with each category. Like me and Bryson were talking about before we all jumped on here. There's a few that could go anywhere. Commercials, venues. I don't know what you guys think, but I know what I think, and that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with my gut. That's all I got. And
Let's get started.
So,
how are we doing the draft order here?
And that is part of the process. But the 5 subjects we're going to be drafting today, as previously texted: 1 game, 1 venue, 1 player performance, 1 party food, 1 commercial. Are there any questions before we get to the Wheel of Truth that will decide the draft order?
I got one. I want to make sure I did it properly.
Okay, excellent.
If the venue is it? I got a little confused. I went both ways. I have where I'm watching the Super Bowl, or where I would want the Super Bowl to be held as a venue.
Yeah, I was talking where the actual game is being played.
Oh, perfect. All right.
Is that everyone else understood it?
Great point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, otherwise everybody would pick Doc's house for the Super Bowl venue if that's what you were going to be talking about, right, B?
Oh, of course. I was setting up, I was making that setup an easy layup. Easy layup there.
Yeah.
That's a category.
I'm going for 3 right now.
Beautiful. All right, so I'll get to the wheel, but once it's going to randomly spin, and then if it picks your name, it doesn't automatically mean you pick first. You get to pick 1 through 4 what you want to be in the draft order. Okay?
Understood.
Doc, you're a vet of the wheel. You know how it goes.
I do.
Wheel.
And here we go. The Polar Bear, Bryson, Doc, Mr. Peanut. Super Bowl, snake draft, twins.
Hey, you need music.
Ooh, rookie. Don't blow it.
I had a feeling. I think I just got to take one. I think I have. So this is going to be off the board. And I think I got some depth here.
He's taking. You know what that is? That's a taking control kind of man right there.
I'm taking it. First round in the first overall pick in the fantasy draft too. That worked out well.
All right.
All right, Polar Bear, what do you got? 2, 3, or 4?
I'll go. How do I want to do this? I don't know. I'll go 3.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Kind of a random one.
It's very odd, unusual, but it's perfect for you.
Yeah, hey, doesn't that just that is me in a number right there? Odd and unusual. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man! I don't get a pick.
So,
What is it?
what would you have picked if you got it?
Or
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna pick. So you're smoked.
perfect.
Love that
Let's go.
early smoke job in the draft to my own dad. So that's just how that goes. Early rivalries. Okay, we're all set, and with the first overall pick of the Super Bowl snake draft, Bryson Blake.
We're going with game, correct?
Yes, sir.
You can go. You can go any
no,
category.
you can go any
order you
category,
want.
right?
You
Where you
can't
going?
go anything.
We're not following that. Oh, well, that completely changes my.
That's why I was like, oh, number one overall. Bold move.
I already had a plan here, so we're going to stick with game.
Well, how could your plan get messed up when you're the
I thought we
number
were going
one
game,
pick?
player, food, commercial, food.
No. You are sorely mistaken, sir.
Okay, hey, we're going to
be
adapt
fair.
a strategy coming into this. I'm gonna stick-
Chaos out the gate.
Oh,
Chaos out
Man,
the
he's
gate.
in the war room. He's all
To be fair.
scatterbrained.
To be fair,
Wow.
I
It's
did
okay.
say at the beginning, are there any questions? No questions were raised.
Great question I should have asked. It's my first time, with a new.
Yeah, hey,
Come on, Blue.
settle in, Blue.
Get it up. This is probably the first Super Bowl I actually remember watching and enjoying. Super Bowl 34, the greatest show on turf versus Steve McNair. Steve McNair comes up a yard short, and I just fall in love with football and just the agony from one side and the embracement of celebration on the other side, and that's one of the first Super Bowls I remember watching, and probably my favorite Super Bowl I got to watch.
That was a great Super Bowl. That was incredible. And I mean, everybody's watching him as he tries to extend his hand to get to the goal line, right? And it's like
Jeez,
3/4 yard line or something, whatever it was. It was like, oh my God, that was so incredible.
Just right out of a movie.
Yeah.
Oliver, what do you got on the Titans Rams number one overall selection? Worthy of number one pick?
I mean, in my opinion, my game has got more sentimental value to myself, but I think this is my thing is I'm never going to knock a man for that memory of football. So I think it's an exceptional pick on your part. I think it's funny when I was thinking about the games for myself, I kind of had that same thought process in a sense of, that memory from, a young kid in football. So I've got a lot of respect for that. Was it the best game as an overall number one? I don't think so, but that's just me.
I'm gonna have to tend to agree with Polar there. I think it was a phenomenal, football game. When it comes down to the final yard, it's tough to beat that type of situation. However, personally, I feel like I was a little young to really understand the whole scope of the Super Bowl. I remember kind of watching it. I couldn't tell you kind of where I was that time. Watching replays of the game and like a football life, it's a phenomenal game. Kurt Warner, great show on turf, like you said. Kevin Dyson come up a yard short. It's got all the stuff you need. I don't have the personal sentimental value to it, but selection's off the board.
Hey,
Polar Bear?
we got to
First,
play.
excuse me? No.
Polar Bear 3.
Yeah, you're up. You're done.
I didn't hear you say it. Well, I'll stick with game. Although I know exactly Patrick's going to know exactly what my game is. Because it's the only time, and probably Polar Bear does, and probably Blue does as well. The only time my team has won the Super Bowl is in 1985. And that was the Bears versus the Patriots, which we actually knew a kid whose dad was on that Patriot team as the backup quarterback that year. But
well, you got a name.
Yeah, Tom
on.
Rand.
There you go.
But the Bears came in the best defense ever, in maybe in the history of the NFL. They were incredible, and they ended up winning 45-10, the second highest score difference in any Super Bowl ever. And they just pretty much, from start to finish, it was just a complete smoke job. The only issue of the entire game, which all of us had, William the Refrigerator Perry scores a touchdown, and he's the offensive guard. The guy who doesn't score a touchdown is Sweetness, Walter Payton. So that was the only thing the Bears had issues, or the Bear fans had issues with this. Sweetness didn't get a touchdown, but just like he was in his entire career, he was very gratuitous for winning the game. And so that was my best game ever. But that's a real personal.
Yeah, I mean, I'll jump in there as the resident Bears fan by blood. Those were greater times, Demons. Now we're looking at the number one overall pick.
Right.
So it's nice to look back and see that at one point in time we were a dominant vessel in the National Football League. That team, they got a 30 for 30. They got some stuff that our generation can look back to and see just how dominant of a defense they were, and how the offense could actually, score touchdowns and do things. So, I mean, in terms of a dominant showing, like you said, I mean, there was no stress as a Bears fan in that game, I'm sure. So that had to be nice. There was no question that they were the better team that day. There's no question they were the best team in the NFL that year. So that's, unfortunately, it's only happened once in your lifetime, which is unfortunate, but it's a nice one to hang your hat on. Probably the best defense ever.
I would agree with that. I don't have any qualms about the defense by no measure, if you will. But again, there's a little what's the word I'm looking for? A very similar
qualm.
No, a similar trend in a sense of sentimental value to the Super Bowl games, and I love that.
Blue, what do you got on the Bears 1985 W?
It's just what I dream about. I mean, I'm a Charger fan, right? Like, I have some things maybe I'll get to that later, but that's all I could ever dream about, is having my team win a Super Bowl. If they win it, that's like dream come true for me, and for you to be able to experience that in your lifetime, like, that has to be your number one. If you had anything else, I'd be very surprised.
Right. Oh, you'd be disappointed with what you do.
And very surprised.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be disappointed.
That's a good point. I mean, the fact that you did get a Super Bowl W is huge. And although it's only happened once, is it more like it's only happened once, or thank God it did happen that one time, Doc?
Right.
Well, we got the Cubs on the same. It happened once, and you take the one time and you live with it forever, regardless if it never happens again. So you could be a Charger fan. You know what? Well, unless they ever come back, it's never going to happen as a San Diego Charger, right? So we never got that. So the Bears been around for 100 years, and they won them way before the Super Bowl was ever invented. But
can I correct really quick?
In modern times,
I think there's plenty of San Diego Charger fans that will accept a Los Angeles Chargers Super Bowl and consider it equal to what they like. I'm a Charger fan, man. Like, it's a little bit. I mean, I've always had ties to San Diego. I didn't grow up there. I fucking hate the Dodgers. I'm not sure if but
no, yeah, you can cuss. You can cuss.
Oh yeah, let it roll, baby. Let it roll.
It pisses me off when I hear like, oh, they came back. It's like, dude, I live in San Francisco. The Niners were the exact same distance, and it was just for marketing. Like, they're making way more money now. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I love Spanos as an owner, but I think the team made the right decision. They're obviously doing better now, and I hope maybe one day they get bought and come back. But like, I don't know. I just feel like San Diego fans, it's just like a war against the Chargers. I don't understand.
He's a ride or die Charger guy, boy bear, as you can tell, and he lives and dies with it, man. So yeah. I totally feel it.
It's the first time I've talked about the Chargers since the accident.
Yeah, we covered it. Yeah.
And everybody, they have the time of their lives there. When that happens.
Anyways, Bears Patriots was the pick. Polar Bear, you're on the clock.
All right. I might as well just keep the same routine here. We're not going to change anything up. You know what? I will. I am going to change it up. Screw it. Because Peanut gave me some shit. All right. I'm going with my commercial. Okay. And it is by far the coolest, the best Super Bowl commercial in the fucking world. And I don't even think I was alive to watch it, but it's a history one. And it is the showdown for McDonald's, where it's Michael Jordan and Larry Bird playing for a Big Mac. And it was, I was watching it earlier, but hey, you got Michael Jordan and you got Larry Bird playing for a Big Mac during the Super Bowl. You cannot top that. And funny enough, this pick got chosen because I was watching something with Larry Bird last week, and that commercial popped up. And when Mr. Peanut sent out the categories, if you will, that was the first one on my list. So I think it's the best one. I think it's two elite athletes playing for a Big Mac. I mean, come on, that's America all during the Super Bowl. Come on.
And during this entire commercial, I'm yelling, "Bird shit, bird shit, bird shit." Because that's what we used to yell at Larry Bird as he came in and set the Vets Auditorium record his junior year with about 42 points. And then he set it again in his senior year with about 48 points. And we lost both games, of course, because Indiana State was at that point incredible. But the entire students, every time he got the ball, bird shit. So I'm yelling in the middle of our Super Bowl party, bird shit, bird shit.
How many points? I might be like totally wrong with this. You said 48 points. That was this prior to 3-point line?
Yeah.
Wow. Just dominate you from an early age, dog.
Oh my God! Yeah, way before the 3-point. Oh my God! Well, he got the ball across half court. I mean, he would probably 3-pointer. He probably would have had 68. I mean, the guy was unbelievable.
Wow.
Back to the
and
pick.
He made shots just like you're watching in that thing against Jordan. He made shots like that. That's the incredible thing.
Love the pick, Polar Bear. Two classics, two icons. Whenever you have kind of a commercial like that, it reminds me of the Spike Lee and Michael Jordan commercial as well. It's very famous, and I don't know. I like when you put two legends together and you make something happen like that.
Magic.
It looks good.
You make magic,
and it's all for a Big Mac. And what was hotter in the '90s than a Big Mac?
That's right.
2 all beef patties, special sauce, and a sesame seed bun.
That'd be
wrong
with that.
Checkmate. All right. It goes over to Mr. Peanut. And look, I gotta go game here. I'm pretty surprised it got to me.
Wow.
I understand.
You go straight to game. What a dick move.
Yeah.
That's a classic Peanut move.
Oh yeah, it's I gotta do what I gotta do. You know that. If it was the game you were about to pick, then shame on you, Polar Bear. Could affect you in the polls. But I'm going Super Bowl 42, Giants 17, Patriots 14. One of the most incredible games maybe ever. You got the undefeated Patriots coming in. And for a guy like me, Bears fan, Chargers fan, Bills fan, normally we're not in the fight, so you got to find at least a good game to watch. And this one was unbelievable. I mean, Tom Brady and Randy Moss that year were, I don't know how many touchdowns they threw. They broke the record. They were an incredible offense. They're going for the 19-0 record to, I guess be better than the 72 Dolphins. And Eli Manning, David Tyree, and Plaxico Burress, Strahan, and whatever took it on their shoulders to say, F that. We're stopping this train. And they did through defense, which I love. Strahan, Tuck. It was beautiful. And another part is the Patriots have been in so many Super Bowls. I find myself just rooting against the Patriots more than rooting for my own team. So that kind of became my team, is who's ever playing the Patriots.
Right.
So the Giants and Eli Manning and those specific plays you can recall and remember, that's what stuck out to me. Patriots lose 18-1. What's better than that?
I'm almost mad I didn't make this my first overall pick.
Yeah.
Said it so well, Rick. Like, hit the nail on the head. As a Charger fan, my second favorite team was whoever is playing the Patriots. And that was, I believe, that was the year they came and did the lights out dance after they beat us. I might be mistaken. There was a lot of times they beat us, but they did the lights out dance, and LT and Sean Merriman went out there and fought them. But yeah, I mean, great pick. Great pick.
Thank you, sir. Doc, what do you think?
Yeah, no, it was a great game. I mean, definitely a defensive game all the way, right? So I can't remember how it ended and how they ended up getting the 3-point victory, but to stop the winning streak, I mean, I thought the 72 Dolphins was probably one of the better teams ever, and they were undefeated, different era of football, but I was glad to see that happen.
Oliver, what can you recall from that matchup?
I mean, I love what you said about Patriot games, and I mean, for most of our adult lives, the Patriots have been in the Super Bowl, and I mean, there's the narrative of, hey, I just want to watch a Super Bowl without the Patriots, and nonetheless, I think that game in itself was just another one to watch, if you will. Again, overall number one pick for myself. I wouldn't have done it, but that's just me. But like I said, I think it's funny because total side note. But while I was going through like my lists of Super Bowl games that I want to pick for my list, how often were the Patriots in those games? And I mean, in my pick, the Patriots is in my pick. So it's just, it's like we can never get away from those damn guys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's most of my list that I had, and also the Giants storyline coming into that Super Bowl was they were a wild card team, and they kind of just went on this crazy run to even get there. And the Patriots, it was the classic like underdog beats the massive favorite. So I'm all into that. That's my pick, and I'll go again here. And I'm going to go – I could go a couple different ways, but I'm going to go with the first player performance or MVP. And I'm going to go with Tom Brady in the Super Bowl LI 51 versus the Falcons. Another one where I'm rooting hard for the Falcons. And that one, I thought I had in the bag. I'm going around the party. There's Patriot fans there. I'm going, you guys get smoked. Forget it. It's over. Just leave. Like, should we just watch something else? And then Tom Brady does what Tom Brady does.
Yeah.
And then I get a little quieter, and I get a little quieter, and I am like, oh shit. Now I'm back against the wall. I've gone too far in. So the numbers of the game, Brady was 43 of 62 for 466 yards, 2 touchdowns, which in terms of numbers, like, isn't crazy impressive, but the real storyline of it all is they're down 28-3 and they come back and win in overtime 34-28. It was a huge legacy game for Brady. He'd already probably met that echelon of being the GOAT, what have you. But that was just another peg of, wow, this dude really, in the biggest moment, shines the brightest.
Right.
He will just be a guy we go down in history, at least in our generation, where we were always watching this guy play, and he always seemed to have the drive or the play and was never, thwarted, so to speak. So I'm going Brady versus the Falcons for my MVP.
Good pick.
Silence from the dais. That's good news for me, fellas. That's good news for me.
I mean,
I'm just so
partially biased.
tired of talking about Brady. I really think that maybe,
I'm biased.
in 5 years when we really look back and go, yeah, the dude, he was the GOAT, right? He's done all this stuff, but there's just too much going on with him
Well, you
right
don't have to cry about it, dog. Like I'm sorry you won, the Super
Good
Bowl 100
heavens.
times, but that's just facts. We're dealing with facts of the Super Bowl here.
Right. Look at how just deflated he is.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
jeez.
I
We don't
knew
know.
Brady.
Yeah.
Brady,
It
God's
should.
God.
It could be called the Brady draft. I mean, the guy's been in it 100 times. Polar Bear, you're up next.
All right. Well, that was a fantastic segue there, Mr. Peanut.
No, thank you, sir.
Well, because that went straight into what I think is the best Super Bowl comeback in NFL history.
There you go. I agree with that.
Super Bowl LI. And I mean, come on, you got the Falcons going up, what was it, 23 to no,
I think it was 28.
28
to
3,
3, yeah.
excuse me. And Tom Brady, Doc, came back and just I mean, it was a perfect segue. Thank you, Mr. Peanut. Mr. Peanut gave it out 446 yards. In no history did any team come back from a 10-point deficit in any Super Bowl history, and they came back. What was the end of that game? I can't even think of it off the top of my head.
34-28.
Look at that. I mean,
OT.
yes, that's right. And then they sealed it with that 2 touchdowns or touchdown in the end there. It shows you how good Tom Brady can be, and shows how good, and I'm going to give him credit, how good Bill Belichick can be at leading a team like that, and having a team that just wasn't going to give up. I mean, that's what we saw. We saw the best comeback in NFL Super Bowl history, and to me, that is the best Super Bowl game ever.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the points was what I was making about Brady, but in terms of the game, I think everyone everywhere thought that game was over.
Right.
I mean, the Falcons were scoring at will, they were getting the ball, they were making turnovers, everything was going their way until it just wasn't. You could see the Patriots slowly creeping back, and you were just wondering if they had enough time to do it. And the Falcons will never live 28-3 down. Blue, what do you got on it?
I would say at least the 27-0 was like first round. All this comeback, it's getting me sick, man. I mean, being a Falcons fan and a Charger fan is kind of like similar to an extent. You hope you build a big enough lead, and then like you said, to the end.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, one of the greatest Super Bowls I've definitely watched. I remember being just like Rick, super excited, talking way too much shit to my Boston fans at UFC. Remember, I'll come back on my face. So great pick. One of the better Super Bowls I've got to watch.
Doc, you gonna cry on this one too, or are you gonna show some credit?
Yeah,
it was a shocking comeback because it's not like you're playing the Texans or the Bears or the Lions or somebody who's known for getting killed at the end of games. You're Super Bowl, and they came back from all that way. I mean, I probably stopped watching for at least a good quarter, hanging out by the keg and going, "Oh yeah, this thing is over." And they're, "Oh my God, score!" And so it's like, "Oh my God, Brady's going to do it again," and he did. So,
and he
pretty
did.
amazing.
And that'll go to your next pick, Doc. You got.
You know what? Here's my favorite food.
Nice. First food off the board. I like
all
that.
Right.
You're going to change the whole tide here. See, this is why you're involved.
Good job.
My favorite food, which is made of barley and yeast and water. If you don't have a beer when you're watching the Super Bowl, then you have not experienced a Super Bowl. So my favorite food during Super Bowl is a nice cold beer.
That's hilarious. Literally picks a beer as food.
Hey, there's food in it.
Wow.
Damn right.
I don't know
And so have
why.
you
I don't
know
know
what?
why I thought
Even if
you'd
you
follow
don't, even if
protocol.
you don't drink beer
Right.
during the Super Bowl, you gotta like be impressed by how many beers people can drink during a Super Bowl.
Right.
And that's it's that's always my go-to. Yeah, you can have wings, you can have chicken fingers, you can have white bean soup, chili, all that. Beer is the Super Bowl.
Beer?
The hilarious part is he's gonna win a lot of fan support on the graphic there.
Oh.
for it's gonna say food and it's just gonna be a mug of beer and it's
Right.
so on brand. He just lives so true to himself there, and I gotta appreciate it. Didn't cross my mind to put beer as food, but
Right.
that's what makes you special, man.
Thank you.
Okay, tough one to follow there, Blue. But you're up for
That's
your
very
second
tough.
round pick.
That's tough, but I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna follow it with a beer commercial, so hopefully that will segue in nicely. This is probably my favorite commercial every Super Bowl. It's a Budweiser with the Clydesdales. There's a lot to choose from, right? But I feel like they do it right every year. There's been anything from my favorite one is probably like the 9/11 Memorial one. That one was awesome, but year to year they just don't miss on the Clydesdale commercial. It's something that I'm just waiting for every year, and that's got to be. I'm pretty stoked. I got my top pick on that one.
I love that pick, Doc. I know you're a big Clydesdale guy.
I also, for my favorite commercial, I mean, if you don't do anything during the Super Bowl and watch no commercials when the big horses come on, you stop the party. You got to watch it, and I agree, Blue. That's so when I get to mine is going to be way better, but
Yeah, you wish.
I think he's just gonna draft exactly what you just drafted.
I mean, 3 out of my 4 picks. So.
But I look the Super Bowl and the Clydesdales and Budweiser. It's just like that's all synonymous, right? I mean, it's just that's a great.
Yeah. I think just the fact that like a Clydesdale Budweiser commercial is coming gives it a lot of street cred to it as well. Because like you said, every year it's just a little different, a little tweaked, but it's like a staple of the Super Bowl. It's its own like part of the Super Bowl. I actually have a mug here that I got from work that's a Budweiser Clydesdale thing, and I love it so much. So it's just crisp and easy, and it's just good. So I love the commercial pick.
I love Budweiser too.
Yeah, Budweiser's not bad.
I'm a big diesel guy,
Yeah. It's a little butt heavy. Never hurt anybody.
No, it didn't. All right, so still my pick, huh?
Yep. Going to the third round here.
I think we talked about this. This was one of the tougher ones for me. Was the venue, so I'm gonna go there. I think we got depth in our other choices. Aaron, Mr. Peanut, I think you could vouch to this. Like growing up, the Super Bowl was at the Superdome, right? Like they had so many Super Bowl there growing up, and I just always thought it was there until it was moved. So for me, another one that probably holds like sentimental value, but I just remember the Super Bowl being at the Superdome in New Orleans.
They've had a lot of them. I mean, when I looked online, I mean, I think that maybe has had like 6 different Super Bowls.
When I grew up, like it just feels like they were all there in a row, but they had so many so close to each other. I think.
That stadium was definitely on my list. It's one of those stadiums that has a feel of a big game to it, which I think is essential for this kind of pick.
Yeah.
Another part of it is it gets super loud in there. Saints fans are known for being, rabid. So I like the fact that the biggest game is going to be in one of the loudest environments, and it's in a dome, so it's going to collectively rise as the game's getting intense. And like Doc said, there's been a million Super Bowls there, and for good reason. So I like the pick.
Superdome, Super Bowl, right? Like it's that simple.
And the famous lights going out storyline. Has a little storyline to it.
That was Ravens, right? Was it
Ravens 49ers, yeah.
Ravens? That's right. Yep. Yeah.
A classic mishap.
Some would say, driven by Roger Goodell.
Some would. And it worked if it was Goodell
Right?
driven.
That's right. He's got his finger in every pie. Come on.
It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, by the way.
Yeah, the lights go out. Very suspicious.
Yeah.
As the Ravens were kicking their ass.
Yeah. Just some guy lost his job.
But I digress. Doc, you're back up, kid. Your last selection was food, beer. So
right.
Fired up for whatever you got.
Well, I'm gonna go. I'll go venue. So in 1980, it was at the Rose Bowl, and the Rams were playing the Steelers. And me and my brother George went out to a bar the night before, and there's a bunch of Steeler fans there, and they were going to the Rose Bowl to watch the game, which in 1980 wasn't, that big a deal. So they had extra tickets, so they were offering us tickets for $100. And I said, no. We'll get them at the stadium for 50. So we did go to the stadium. We did get them for $50. But that's not my favorite place. Here's my favorite. Here's my favorite place.
Are you kidding?
Whoa, what a segue.
And that is a Super Bowl ticket.
What are you showing us? Okay.
Super Bowl ticket.
Super Bowl ticket from Raymond James Stadium. And that's in Tampa.
Wow.
And Baltimore was playing the New York Giants. And Ray, big linebacker,
Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis comes out in the middle of the smoke, and the pirate ship is freaking going off. And we got our tickets for this one. It was a little bit later. We got our tickets for this one for about $1,000, and the whole place erupted. And me and Bake and Randy, these are my relatives, we were all there, Carl, and there's the ticket still to this day on my wall of fame. So my favorite place and best memory is Raymond James Stadium.
That was wild. That was a wild ride.
Where was that, Doc? They just had one there a couple years ago too.
Yeah, they did. It's an incredible. It seats maybe 75,000, but the pirate ship in the middle of the end zone, right on the corner. I mean, that's like you can't go anywhere and see that. And they got cannons going off, and they got pirates on board, and they're partying. It's like that in and of itself is a party, but the whole place was electric. And Tampa actually is a very kind of New Orleans type of a place. So we had just an absolute blast, and it was a lot of fun.
They're real cannons, right? They're real cannons.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
Yeah, they don't shoot cannonballs, Blue.
But it's like
they shoot.
It's still cool. They can make that. They can make it fake, right?
Oh yeah, no,
they got something
it is loud.
They have upgraded from fake cannons probably about 10, 15 years ago. So it's cool to make
it is loud, and it like boom, it shocks the shit out of you when they pull that thing off. But that was a blast. We had fun. It was a great game too. Well, I can't remember, like 31-19 or something. But Ray Lewis played a great game, but him coming out of the smoke, he was you come out of the tunnel, right, and all these guys are coming out ready to go, and he led the charge, and he was the only guy. And then the rest of the Ravens came after. It was like, oh my God, it's starting. It was so fun.
Yeah. Well, that was 2001 for just the record. And one of the better, or arguably could be the best defense of all time. That's been argued. They just had a 30 for 30 come out, Bullies of Baltimore. But that was that team. And Ray Lewis was going, I just watched it. And then Ray Lewis is going over the Giants, like play or their offensive drives the entire game, and basically it was punt, punt, punt,
Wow.
interception, punt, interception, interception, punt, and like he was just reading the entire. Like the only touchdown the Giants scored was on a kick return, and then in that game there was the back-to-back kick returns. Like the Giants got the kick return touchdown, and then the Ravens
Yes.
got the kick return touchdown.
Yes.
And I mean, I love the pick because if you ever go to a Super Bowl, which I haven't had the, I haven't done that yet on the bucket list, but if you ever go to one, that should absolutely be your pick. And Tampa Bay looks like an awesome stadium, regardless. So, good selection.
I forgot about the back-to-back. That whole back-to-back thing took like 20 minutes because of the commercials and stuff going on. It was like, boom, they score. Literally a minute went off the clock. We had 2 touchdowns and people are going crazy, and oh my God.
Yeah, I have to ask for the sports banter people, how did we start at the Rose Bowl on that? What did the Rose Bowl do with any of that? That was just like a flex.
Because I thought, being Southern California, everybody figured I'd go there, or maybe San Diego, but no, Tampa Bay.
That was just a flex of like, yeah, Super Bowl tickets used to be $50, man. Anyway, I'm going Tampa Bay.
I mean, I just Chargers left because the NFL got exposed to how bad the stadium was, right? So
it was going downhill, and that was like 2003. But anyway, Polar Bear, you're up.
All right.
Rubs his hands together. Whoa, let's come.
Right. So I'm gonna go with venue. And
you guys like following suit with each other. I gotta say that.
Yeah, I like that.
One guy goes and the rest follow.
So do you, Mr. Peanut. But, and this might shock many of you, but my venue for the Super Bowl is Qualcomm Stadium. And the reason for that is, one, it was the very first football stadium I ever went to was Qualcomm Stadium, so there's a sentimental value there. And number 2 is I actually saw my first live Super Bowl there with the Buccaneers and the Raiders in 2003. So it's got a little bit of a sentimental value to myself. One being the first stadium I ever got to watch a full football game in. And number 2 is the first Super Bowl that I've ever seen live, and the only one I've seen live.
John.
And my dad and I got tickets from a family friend just randomly, like 2 days before the Super Bowl, and we decided to go. So, mind you, we were sitting in the nosebleeds, but nonetheless, it means a lot to me. And that's why it's my venue. Plus, it's San Diego, so it really rings home with myself. All of us here have been to that stadium, one, if not a million times. So, and now it's no longer there. So to say that I got to go to a football game and I got to see a Super Bowl there, not many people get to say that.
Lou, what do you got on it?
Great pick. I mean, the father-son thing, I think that really hits home for me, and to be able to experience that, like with your pops, like that's got to be like a memory you'll never forget about, right? And as a Charger fan, like watching the Raiders get their ass kicked, right? Probably pretty stupid up. That was John Gruden and Brad Johnson.
Another great defense.
I remember that game like very clear as well, like watching it with my pops. But I think it's partially because like we had ties to San Diego and we wanted to be at that game, right? We weren't able to go. We lived in Mammoth back then, but just to have the Super Bowl was like not my backyard, but somewhere that like was special to me as well. In a place that like I used to go to so many Charger games there. So maybe it wasn't the prettiest venue or the greatest venue, but it's special to us for sure.
Right.
100%. Also, I didn't go to the game, but I didn't know you went either, and that is Fantastic. Because I did know some people who did get to go to the game and they had a blast, obviously. But there was like the week before, like the Pro Bowl week, they had this thing called the NFL Experience come down, and me and Chris Clifford actually went to that and got to meet Matt Hasselback, Tim Hasselback,
Wow.
Bubba Franks, and like some other just NFL guys. And I think we were what, like 9, 10, whatever age where you're like mesmerized by professional athletes just because they're professional athletes. So having that experience like face to face and knowing that the Super Bowl is this like massive deal and it was in our city was awesome to even be a part of something around it. So that's definitely something that I wanted to happen again, growing and older and whatever, and hopefully something that will be back with the new stadium at some point. I don't know when, but definitely being a San Diegan, it holds a lot of value. So love the pick. Nothing demons.
Oh no, I mean, I love the father-son thing. That's great, Brian. But I do have a funny story. We went to the Green Bay Denver Super Bowl,
Oh yeah.
Qualcomm. We had no tickets,
Oh wow.
so we figured we would just give the guy, taking tickets, $200, and just go, hey, here's my ticket. Here's $200, and just walk through the gate. And the guy goes, where's your ticket? And I go, no, this is my ticket. He goes, no, you can't get in. So I just want to like walk around. I don't really I don't need a seat. He goes, you ain't getting a seat. Get out of here.
Oh man.
So he didn't take.
1998. Simpler times.
So my $200 meant nothing, and we went to the Town and Country, the Town and Country Hotel in Mission Valley, and watched the game.
Wow.
What is that? Is that McGregor's? Is that bar that was right by Qualcomm?
Yeah, well, that's on the other side, but we went. Yeah.
They're after games all the time.
Oh my God. So by that point, Super Bowl tickets were like $2,000, I think. I don't know, 1,500. So I gave him $200. I'm going, man, this is like a gift. The dude just is like standing there, get me in. He goes, no, dude, you ain't watching the game in here. I go, oh boy,
You ain't coming through this wall.
well, the good old days of bribing people to get into places.
Yeah, see, those are the good old days.
That's old school, man. That's old school. I love that.
Oh my God.
I tried.
That's hilarious. You tried. All right, back to me. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go food.
All right.
And it's not, it's not flashy. It's not like I'm gonna wow you, but it's just like if I see it at the party, I'm fired up. I'm gonna get my little plate and I'm gonna make a little platter for myself, and that is Cane's chicken tenders specifically.
Yeah, right.
With the sauce. Look, I need something the pregame while I'm filling out my sheet to set my palate. Because once I start getting on Doc's food, beer, I need something already, in there. Gonna help me out later. So, and that's what Cane's chicken tender is all about. It's delicious. The sauce is unique and delicious. What more do you need? And then once I have that, it's not going to be too filling. I'm not going to feel full. And then I go straight to the keg. You got beer, chicken tenders. It's a great combo. And quite frankly, if you have a qualm about it, that's more on you than it is on me, buddy.
I just feel, I love Cane's. I love the pick.
Mama.
It's a great, but I feel like for me, I can't get that. Like, how am I going to get Cane's up here? And like, there's a lot of places in the country you can't.
Special guest.
Yeah, that's
If it was available.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of.
That's a fair point. I haven't been in a location where it hasn't been available. So, I mean,
that's my favorite. I don't want to say I'm a chicken tender connoisseur by any means, but
I've been a
good tender, all right. And I think, I'd say Cane's does it right, and then any good golf course would be second. But there's nothing, and then maybe Chick-fil-A third. But
yeah,
I mean,
honestly.
I'm a big chicken finger guy. That's just a great pick.
Well, we're gonna have Canes on Sunday if you can make it, Rick.
I love that.
Yeah. But see, that's my normal party I go to. So I've been in the Canes chicken game for a long time now, and it has treated me very well.
It's no sandwich, Bry. We get Canes.
Good man, good man.
I just wish that I could get Canes. Like, I don't think there's any in the Bay Area.
Yeah, that's tough. That's surprising, I would say, but at the same time, it's not that surprising.
I loved it. But yeah, there's no fast food up here, dude. It's
what the fuck? That's brutal.
He's so pissed.
People are eating roasted duck up there when they could be having Cane's chicken tenders.
Let's
keep it simple. I don't need a $50 duck. I don't know what duck tastes like, but I know what Cane's tastes like.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Fair
the
enough.
sushi.
$35.
The sushi is really good up here in San Francisco. Let's have a little sushi with the Super Bowl. Oh boy.
Going on a rant.
You take kombucha and fucking charcuterie boards if I go to a party here. So like
charcuterie boards. That's right up Brian's alley. He's a big charcuterie board guy.
Hey, you know what I am? I'm a fancy man, damn it.
I'm not saying I'm opposed to it, but for the Super Bowl, I don't want a charcuterie board.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, but you know what? You got to understand your clientele. You might have that person that is from the Bay Area expecting a charcuterie board. What you do is you give them that little sliver of the island of just some cured meats and cheese, and you say, "Have at it, son," and you're done. You are appeasing to all your guests, Doc. Appeasing to all your guests, which you do very well at your Super Bowl party.
I do, but there's absolutely no concern for anyone coming to my Super Bowl party other than me.
And hey, I have so much respect for that.
You know, that's why the woman takes care of the hospitality side, and you
correct. She's making a charcuterie board.
Yeah,
she'll set it up.
She's shaking hands. She's making sure everybody's good.
Yeah, it was all over the charcuterie board.
The president of the United States on that day.
I gotta get it out there. I gotta get live. KB and Becky, they'd be all over it. They wouldn't touch any of the. They'd be all on the cured meats and cheese. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. I 100%.
Well, you may not get that here unless the woman, somebody.
Oh, they might even bring it themselves.
That's right.
They might.
That's right.
Those just to make sure it's there.
Beautiful snack boards. I'm like, I don't even want to eat it. Like, half the work is because it's beautiful.
All you really need are fried food. You need chicken. You need fried peas. You need
All right, demons. There's still picks to be made here. We don't give away picks.
Okay.
We don't give away picks.
What the hell?
All right, I'm back up. That was great. That turned into a tornado right there. Just Cane's chicken. You see how electric it is? It gets the people going. I'm going to go commercial, and I'm going Terry Tate Office Enforcer. One of the all-time Reebok commercials. You don't know what I'm talking about. It's a quick YouTube search, and you go, oh, yeah. The dude who's just slamming guys around the office, making sure they're in line. It is beautiful. I just remember being a kid, and I thought it was like Ray Lewis for the longest time, and it wasn't. I figured out, and it's just there's just this guy raising hell around the office, smoking everybody. Hilarious, short, quick, and that was when Reebok was tight too. Now I'm not so sure, but at the time, elite commercial.
I think that is a fantastic pick. Great pick for the commercial there, Mr. Peanut. Anytime you can get a football player just coming around, throwing his weight around, and representing the good brand of Reebok, it's the best. And, it's funny you brought that up because I didn't even put it on my list, but once you said it, I did go, fuck, I should have put that on there. And it just fantastic. He's, sauntering around in his freaking red jersey. I'm going to get out of these people. I'm the hall monitor, bitch.
So good.
Fantastic pick, man. Fantastic pick.
You guys remember the NFL equipment? That was Reebok, right?
That's right. NFL sponsored. Yep.
Yeah, NFL equipment was the shit. Whenever you see anybody in like NFL equipment dry fit, it's like I wish I would have kept a like old Chargers one. You know?
Yeah, our old Star stuff too. It's the same. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that was certainly an elite time. Polar Bear, you're back up.
Don't you worry, I'm here. I'm on my fourth pick, correct?
That's correct.
I'm rolling in with, I'm going to go party food. And just, any Super Bowl party it's not complete with the good old chicken wing. You can't go with the chicken wing. And, you have so many avenues of flavors that you can go through with chicken wing. I don't have qualms with any of them. And the bigger the selection, the better the party there is. And I'm a bigger man, and I'll throw down like 40 chicken wings if I really want to at a Super Bowl party.
Oh, wow.
And you know what? I'll look at everybody and go, it's a Super Bowl. Who gives a shit? There's fried food, French fries, all that jazz. But you know what? You can never go wrong with a true chicken wing. And I will say this. I've never had Cane's before I went to a Downing Super Bowl. And it was fantastic.
Just unbelievable pick. I mean, it's literally the first thing. Cane's is like the delicacy of the chicken tenders world, which is why I like it. But wings, everybody's got.
You're a delicate man.
Let me ask you this: where are you getting the wings from?
Ooh.
I'm very, very fond of Dirty Birds here in San Diego.
Ooh.
Fantastic.
Strong.
Fantastic wing joint. Can't go wrong with. Actually, I will say this: I had never gotten wings prior to Mr. Peanut from Epic Wings. I'd never gotten wings from there.
Of course.
And I appreciate that. Just volley there to a great place to get wings. But number one for me is Dirty Birds. If you get wings from Dirty Birds, I'm all over it. All over it.
Excellent answer. It's a phenomenal wing joint. Super Bowl wings are a staple. Wings, beer. That's kind of the first things you think of, really. If you're at a place in the Bay Area that has just charcuterie boards and no wings, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Get out quick.
Get the hell out of there
because you're dealing with people
and shit.
Because you're dealing with people that are probably not going to know what channel the game is on, not going to know where the remote is, not going to have the volume up, and these are three intangibles that you can't risk on a day like Sunday. So,
will not be attending any Super Bowl parties of that
kind. That's good to hear.
But the wings selection that's what Sunday's all about. You want to have a mountain of wings. You want to open that tray. You want to see a little steam come off. Not too much, mind you, but a little steam come off. You want to fill your plate up without, making it seem like you're having too much so the next guy can get his fill. And that's how you start your brand of the day. It's huge.
I got a big question for you, Polar Bear.
Go ahead.
Drumsticks or flats?
I'm a flat man. Come on.
There you go. That's all I wanted to hear.
I'd say both. I'm both.
I'm not going to argue both.
Yeah, right? It's flats, right? It's flats.
But flats are good. Flats are fine. But sometimes I want to, go ham on a drumstick. Get a little challenge.
Pop those off and just get a mouthful of meat. No, pause for a second. But like, you can't beat a flat. I'm a big. Dirty Birds. Before we go any farther, like I just want to take a minute to respect. I miss that place so much, man. All I have is Wingstop, and like Wingstop gets the job done, but it is not Dirty Birds.
100%. Doc, wings, you in?
Oh, well, yeah, for sure. We were well, only because Buffalo Wild Wings is close to us, and we don't have anybody down in PB or anybody to pick up the Epic Wings because we don't have anything up this way, that way. But we definitely have Canes coming, and we have Buffalo Wild Wings. So, Bri, by the way, if you're unencumbered on Sunday, you are more than welcome to come over.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate
Wow, your selection was so monumental. You actually got an invite in the 4th round.
I greatly appreciate that.
Wow.
And I will say this: I say Dirty Birds, but my second listing there for wings is a place in, and I'm going to challenge you, Mr. Peanut, to go to it because it is near you. It's in Connecticut. It's called the Blind Rhino, and they were actually ranked the #1 buffalo wing in the United States.
Wow.
And their wings are, if I could have those at every Super Bowl party, I would.
A question for Polar Bear. Blue cheese or ranch?
Say that again?
Blue cheese or ranch?
Now, there is only one right answer here.
Well, I don't know because I might not have the right answer here. So
Right.
I might say there's 2 right answers.
I'm
here,
curious.
this is my thing. I'm a man of many wing eating, and I have no problem with either.
Okay, but what if you had 2 in front of you? What are you picking first?
There you go.
I would go ranch, and then I would,
Of course.
and then, but this is my
Of
thing.
course. We're not savages.
Those guys.
I would dance with the blue cheese, though. Let me tell you.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
We've covered the wings.
Yeah.
We've covered the wings. Now it's Doc's turn to do some shit. Doc, what do you got? Round 4.
I'm going to say my best till last. So I'm going to go with player.
Okay.
Right, players category. Nobody said a player yet.
I have, yeah.
Oh, Mr. Peanut has. Your hatred of Tom Brady was shown.
Yeah, you just disregarded my pick. You hate the guy.
He literally disregarded your whole pick. He deleted it in his mind.
He's got issues. He's old.
So opening the Super Bowl. I mean, I get back to the Bears roots, but this is still an incredible event. Opening the Super Bowl, Bears versus Colts.
Oh.
And Devin Hester.
Wow. Didn't even take an MVP. Just, wow. Love it.
Just takes it back all the way. And it's 7-0 Bears within, 30 seconds of the game even.
You had to bring up that one.
And Devin Hester, Super Bowl, I mean, he's shown his light, but that dude made so many punt returns, so many kick returns. He was electric. And I don't know if they even had deferring them, but the fact that we were going to get the kickoff and Devin Hester had a chance to take it back. Because who's our quarterback? Rex Grossman, right? How are we going to score with Rex Grossman? Devin Hester takes it all the way back for the touchdown. First part of the game. And we got, I think, one more touchdown after that. But that guy was excited.
Yeah, I'll jump in, certainly. I mean, that was – so I was old. I was in, 8th grade, and the Bears were in it for the first time for me. And that whole year was, the best defense, and then Devin Hester, as you're talking about. And the opening kickoff return for a touchdown was probably the most electric thing I've seen in sports in, I don't know, in any situation, I guess, because it's the beginning of the game. I mean, right there and then I said, it's over. I mean, we're smoking these fools, and that's that. I mean, we got all the momentum. We actually got an interception on the very first drive, too, so I really thought it was the case then. But to have a guy like Devin Hester on your squad who can score at any moment just because he can cut and he's faster and he just finds the hole, that was an unbelievable era of time to be a Bears fan. And that moment is still, even though the Bears lost that game, it's still one of the best Super Bowl moments in history. Um, so credit to you for picking just like an awesome moment. Obviously, it's more special to us, but he's the only guy to ever do it, and I think that's cool.
I think it was a great pick. I think, I think, Mr. Peanut and I have talked about this, about setting the tone of a football game, and to have a guy come out like that and set the tone on that kind of level and during that big of a moment is, even though the Bears didn't win that game, that showed that I think it was a great pick. It shows who he was in my mind and everyone else's mind. You think about that to this day in football history. So that was a great pick, Doc. Great pick.
Will, you got anything on D. Hester?
Again, right? Like I just wish I could see my team in a Super Bowl. Part of that game would have been part of my list. So I mean, great pick. That's on my list as well. I remember watching that like very clearly. And to your point, I remember thinking like as a football, like they have Rex Grossman, how are they going to score? And it's like, well, they got defense, they got Devin Hester.
Yeah, right. You're right. And my second best, which I also absolutely love, so I just want to bring it up, is Joe Namath.
Okay.
Joe Willie Namath. This is way before you guys, but the ball. I got to bring it up.
Well, hold on, dude.
In the locker room afterwards.
Well, the Baltimore Colts were like the prohibitive favorite, and Joe Willie Namath goes, "We're gonna beat their ass," and they did. And it was like we were watching the game, well, kinda, because it's black and white TV at that point, and it was like, oh my God, Joe Willie Namath, he's gonna do it. Young guy from Alabama, and he said, "We're gonna beat their ass. I don't care what anybody says. We're gonna win." That would be my second best.
It's a great selection, but wait for the honorable mentions to get like multiple picks out there, kid, because there's still draft picks out there. So if like Bryson wanted Namath, then you just smoked him.
No, I don't think anybody wanted Namath.
I don't think you did, but you gotta wait. There's an order of things.
Is that the same game where like the iconic photo of him like smoking heaters in the locker room? Is that from that?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's an all-time pick.
All-time photo, right?
Yeah, that's all-time pick. All right, Bryson, to you. Last two picks here.
It's funny. I'm gonna go with my bottom choice on players. Everybody's available, but I'm gonna go with the bottom here. I think a lot of the discussion leading up to it has influenced this choice, but I'm gonna go with Nick Foles, Super Bowl 52. We've talked about underdogs, right? This guy Nick Foles was never given a chance. We've seen he's really maybe not the greatest quarterback, but something about that year and the confidence that Philadelphia established in him. Like the guy's got a fucking statue outside of the stadium for one season, right? Like that alone is people will play 20 years for a franchise and not get a statue, right?
Right.
The greatest of the greatest get a statue. This guy did 1 year, and then like the Philly special, and all of the teams that have tried to mimic that in those types of situations. I think it's got to be Big Dick Nick for me, and it's again right like beating Brady. There's a lot that goes into that. So statue, they built the statue for the guy one season. So that's what I'm going to base it on.
Yeah. For when I was picking Brady, I was deciding between Foles and Brady, and kind of hurt that I didn't go with Foles, but I'm glad that someone else picked him up. Just a historic run, like you were just saying. Played out of his mind for whether it was just like the end of the season there, into the playoffs, and I don't know what rhythm he found, but he was a top quarterback at that point in time, and the numbers he put up in that game were unreal. We got 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown, like talking about the Philly special. That Eagles team couldn't be stopped, and he was the main reason for it. So great pick, and another one of the Patriots losing and me celebrating that fact. So thank you, Nick Foles.
And it's like the guy's always had like the natural ability to be like an NFL quarterback, right? It's like you finally put it together for a year, and I forgot where was he at this year, but he was playing against the Chargers, I think, right? Through like 5 picks. or what's that?
Yeah, he's still out there somewhere. Maybe it was Indianapolis. I don't know.
The guy's like I don't want to call him like he's cashing checks, second, third string quarterback, and he's got a statue, right? Like
it's it's a story unlike any other.
Correct. A tradition unlike any other coming up. Hey, we're getting into food, right?
Yeah, rip it.
Last pick. I'm actually shocked this is here. This is my favorite
Oh wow.
snack to watch football with, and it's got to be made correctly though. But it's a staple. It's the good old buffalo chicken dip with Tostito scoops. You can't beat it. If it's made the right way, right? I can make a mean one. My girlfriend makes a mean one. And big crock pot guy, we bring that to the Super Bowl party, and like nobody's ever. It's never not empty.
Doc, you ever had buffalo chicken dip in your life?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Not a bad choice.
I'll take that. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. For him to say not a bad choice, to say he's
Jordan Quick.
not a better one than me, so I'll take it.
Polar
I
bear.
got honorable mentions there, so this was a tough one for me. Food, like I'm a big food guy.
Yeah.
So, and I'm a big-
Buffalo chicken dip is an exceptional choice.
Oh wow. I'm butterflies inside now hearing that.
Leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Jackie makes a phenomenal one. It is one of my favorite treats of all time, and it is with the Tostito scoops as well. It is with those. Those are big because it fits right. It's perfect. That's the only way you should do it.
I want to scoop it up, man. I want some.
Yeah, it's like that's what the chips are made for. It's beautiful, and it's a delicious snack, and it's wonderful. So I got no qualms with it. No qualms, Polar Bear.
Good job. Final pick of my draft selection, not a Clydesdale, tell you that right now, is my player. And this is more of football history, but also one of my favorite players in the NFL, in NFL history. And that is an offensive guard by the name of Nate Newton. Played for the Cowboys, played in 3 Super Bowls, 93, 94, and 96. Led the Cowboys to, I mean, come on, assisted them in winning 2 of those Super Bowls. Actually, I think 3 of them. But nonetheless, I mean, Emmitt Smith rushing for over 1,700 yards. I think one season he had like close to 2,100 yards in the season for that. I'm an O-line guy. No one's going to know who the fuck Nate Newton is unless you really love football. I was going to go total segue and make it my own. I was going to say the whole O-line of the Cowboys during the 90s, which is great. But I pulled the reins in, and that's my choice. No qualms. No qualms.
Can't hate it. You know, as a fellow lineman, like I respect the hell out of the pick. I'm not sure if the fans voting will understand it, but I love it. I love it.
That is.
I thought you were going to say Orlando Pace, honestly, when you were talking about. Then I heard guard, and I was like, but hey.
Yeah, I agree with Bryson. I mean, I like that you stay true to the brand of the O-line man. You know what I mean? Like you said, no one's going to know who that is. I didn't know who it was when you were talking about it, but I'm sure he was a sturdy stand-up guy. I know that. If you're giving him street cred, then I'm in on it.
Yeah, best offensive guards in NFL history, in my personal.
I hope that the crowd respects the trueness to the O-line craft.
That's right.
That's what I hope, you know?
It's not a Clydesdale, but man, they could beat up a Clydesdale. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, Doc's going to find that YouTube video. For my last pick, I'm picking a venue here, and I'm going the University of Phoenix Stadium, which is where the Cardinals play. And for 2 specific reasons here. I like the construction of the stadium. I think, again, like when I said about the Superdome pick, it presents the idea like a big game is going to be played here. And a couple of just super memorable Super Bowls have been played there. One was my first pick, the Giants-Patriot game, 17-14, and the other was the Patriots-Seahawks debacle where the Seahawks elected to throw the ball instead of handing it off to Lynch for the easy touchdown. Those are the only 2 Super Bowls that have been played in the stadium. So that means to me that it's a place where shit goes down at the highest level.
Right.
And fun fact, I've seen Notre Dame get their ass whipped there. So,
yeah, that's true.
I like to pick Rick, or excuse me, Mr. Peanut. I think anytime you can get a stadium like that, where again, I really like the thought of just, this is a place where, something big is going to go down and a good venue in that sense. So I can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong with that. And also too, I mean, just the loudness in that kind of place is just, I mean, it's deafening, if you will.
What
got anything?
Where else would you want to be?
Go ahead, Brad.
Oh, sorry. No, age before beauty, please.
Super Bowl this year is in Glendale, right?
Is
Same
it?
place? Same
Yeah.
place or different?
Oh, it's there. Same
It
stadium.
is there. Wow. What a segue. What a segue.
Fired up now.
So I guess, yeah, we're expecting big things then. And I do like the matchup at the stadium. So
Right.
all right, Doc, last chance. Honorable mentions from the dais.
I will say
Stadium. That was the honorable mention for me.
Pillsbury
Well,
Pigs in a
how about-
Blanket is a big food staple for me. A sucker for that on Super Bowl. I make it like everything. I had to get that out there. What else do I got?
I've never
Joe
ever
Green.
had a pig in a blanket and a Super Bowl game. Never, ever.
It's got to be the Pillsbury like little croissant things. That's amazing. How did nobody
Yeah,
have?
right.
It's all right. It's just a weird. It's okay. Nobody had Mean Joe Green for the.
I love Mean Joe Green. That's a good one.
I thought I was Doc. I was waiting for you to pick that.
That was actually one of my. It's on my list, but I didn't know that anybody would even know anything about that.
Come on. That is a dig.
That is a dig. We don't appreciate
I'm
that.
not going to accept that. Good heavens. And
Of course
also,
we know.
and
Of course we know
also,
Mean Joe
and
Green
to that
is.
point, Doc, your son is on here, and I know that you would educate your son on Mean Joe Green. So that, sir, is unacceptable.
Okay, so
you
what was
set
the
him
commercial
straight.
about? What was the commercial about?
Coca-Cola.
Cool, yeah.
Toss him
Thanks,
the
Mean Joe.
jersey, baby. Thanks, Mean Joe.
A Coke and a smile. That would have been all time.
That's a good one.
That's a great honorable mention.
You know what? Doc gets a -1 for expecting his son to not know that.
Yeah, he's once again, he's got qualms.
I would say, an honorable mention for like Super Bowl was 2015 Patriots Seahawks interception in the end zone. I mean, I don't know if it's one of the best Super Bowls. I would say maybe just the outcome of the game is one of the most memorable.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just give it to the beast.
Yeah.
I had the Steelers and Cardinals on my list as well as James Harrison. Just like that pick six, like right before halftime. For some reason, that one is just like stuck in my brain too. I remember, like, it's crazy because the Super Bowl I picked was Kurt Warner in 34, and then I realized like 9 years later, the guy's on a different team and still doing it. So
that was a fantastic game, and Larry Fitzgerald had an unbelievable game that gets kind of lost in the weeds there, and would have had the game-winning touchdown, but scored too quickly, basically.
I have such
it
was just
I got games as well. This is just a stupid one, but I was going to put it out there. Was 2001 Super Bowl, Giants and Rams, and the only reason I was going to put it out there is because the next week was the first game of the XFL, baby.
Yeah. Which is coming back, by the way.
That's right, and so is the USFL.
I had the Super Bowl 38 Patriots-Panthers 32-29 with Jake Delhomme and Tom Brady duking it out.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that was 2004. That was like one of my favorites as a kid. Mushin Muhammad, Steve Smith just going off. Jake Delhomme, of all people, has like an unreal year. And Vinatieri kicks it again through the uprights.
So nobody's mentioned like Joe Montana once.
I have Steve Young on my list just
I
because
do too.
And Jerry Rice.
when he got the monkey off his
Yeah,
back,
well, Joe Montana had
beat the
four.
Chargers.
He had four Super Bowl wins. He threw 11 TDs, no picks, and he won the MVP 3 times.
I said Joe Montana.
Sounds like it should have
been on your list.
It should have been your pick. I mean, that was in our era.
Should have been on your pick.
I went with Devin Hester, but I mean, I'm telling you, I mean, that's and Joe Montana. Guess where he went to the school?
Unreal. How do you go Devin Hester instead of Joe
Montana? And then he's your honorable mention. It's almost
and then you're so quick to blame us. Like, no, you're the one.
So quick to judge Tom Brady. Good heavens.
Also, I had Von Miller as an MVP and Ray Lewis because I like when the defensive guys get some shine. And Von Miller definitely dominated the Panthers that Super Bowl.
I had for venues, and I know that there's never been a Super Bowl there, but I put Lambeau Field down. I mean, that would just again, I didn't really know the rules per se. I took it as it has never hosted a Super Bowl, so it doesn't deserve to be in that.
Yeah, I feel like you got to host it in order to say.
But I mean, to have a Super Bowl there, just around that football NFL history, in the ice cold too. I mean, that would be an awesome venue to have a Super Bowl in.
That would be pretty unbelievable.
So where was Super Bowl 1?
I don't believe
it was Coliseum.
LA there you go, at the Coliseum, correct.
Makes sense. Get out of the cold, right?
That's right.
Right. All right, I'm going to go just give a rundown of the teams. We'll wrap this up.
Love it.
So Bryson's team, Titans, Rams, Super Bowl 34, Budweiser, Clydesdales, heavily controversial with Doc later on in the draft.
Yeah, that's right.
Venue.
Well, you know what? That's not a commercial. That's just a broad statement. I brought an actual commercial into it.
Venue was the Superdome. Nick Foles, MVP of Super Bowl 52, and Buffalo Chicken Dip as food. Right. Doc, Bears, Patriots, Super Bowl 20 for his game. Food, beer. Venue, Raymond James Stadium, Tampa Bay. Player performance, Devin Hester, specifically returning the opening kickoff. And the Budweiser Puppy Love commercial, which really was another Clydesdale one. Polar Bear Showdown, McDonald's playing. Oh, Michael Jordan and Larry Bird showdown for a Big Mac. Falcons, Patriots, Super Bowl LI for his game. Venue, Qualcomm Stadium. Wings for food, preferably Dirty Birds. And MVP, Nate Newton?
That's right.
Nate Newton, the O-lineman for the Cowboys.
Yeah, right. Good.
And then Mr. Peanuts has the Giants, Patriots, Super Bowl 42. Tom Brady, the MVP of Super Bowl LI. Cane's Chicken Tenders for food. Terry Tate, office linebacker for commercial. And the Arizona Cardinals Stadium, which is where the Super Bowl is this year. Hey, fellas, excellent work. That was war. That was just flat out war. There's no other way you can cut it, shape it, turn it, and push it other than war. But we will get this up on our Instagram and such and let the fans decide whose team they like the best, and we will let you know. Thank you both for coming on. Doc, always a pleasure. You never know what antics you're going to pull, and you did not disappoint. Bryson, Super Bowl or the Sports Banter Fantasy winner.
I just hope to be a reoccurring guest. That's all I could say.
Oh, absolutely. You were a tremendous rookie performance. And
if you win the draft, you're not invited. You've won 2.
Yeah, we might have to banish all Blakes if you guys go back to back.
That's right.
A lot of pressure with that.
Right, damn it.
Oh, man.
But for episode 29, season 2, the Super Bowl snake draft, we out.
See ya.